Hey there, welcome back to Black Bear News. I see you guys talking about me. I can see you. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. Please remember to like the video and make sure that you are still subscribed. This is going to be kind of a short video today, guys. I'm putting out a record on Wednesday. Wednesday is Earth Day, 50th anniversary of Earth Day. A day that everybody will enjoy inside, I guess, inside their houses. Unfortunately, I'm sure there's ways to get outdoors. I will seek a way, but we're heading into spring, so it's definitely going to be a lovely day. I'm sure it's actually supposed to be quite warm. Jacob Gordon, we're watching you. Yes, maybe you are, maybe you're not. Well, here's the deal. So I'm going to keep this video a little short today. Because I have a lot of work to do to finish this record up, and I won't be going live tomorrow. So just giving you a heads up, I won't be around tomorrow. Wednesday, I most likely will be back at the regular time. I may actually be recovering Wednesday, or something may come up on Wednesday. I'll give you guys a heads up if I'm not going to be here, but I should be back Wednesday at the regular time. So everybody's here. Early chatters are in. Kuro Hike says, as soon as my mail arrives, I'm heading to Colorado. Right on. Last Monkey, 50th anniversary. Geez, never realized it was that old. Yeah. Didn't realize it was that old. I am I am also old. I'm about as old as Earth Day is. I'm actually a little older than Earth Day. Last Monkey again says that's sad in a way. 50 Earth Days and still at the brink of extinction. Indeed. Indeed, it's very sad. Also, just giving you an update on Rockfin. I'm still trying to figure out. I haven't really tried to go live on Rockfin, but maybe I'll try later this week to do a live stream on Rockfin. I'm going to alert you guys to that, but maybe I'll just test it out first. I had some technical issues last time. It didn't work. So I'm trying to figure out why it is I couldn't live stream last time on Rockfin, but I'll let you guys know when I'm going to do that. Yes. So, again, yet another one of these stories about the idea of the half Earth idea, or protecting half of the Earth as a way to mitigate climate change. And this is from February 13th, 2020. Before the madness set in. This idea has been kicked around for a few years at least. It's interesting to continue to see it come up. Other than a few articles here and there, I don't really see the half Earth idea being taken up by anybody in mainstream media or any politicians. I don't see it considered in any serious way, by policymakers. That doesn't mean that it's not a serious idea. I actually support this idea. When I first read about it and first heard about it, I was like, what is this? This sounds ridiculous. And then the more I think about it, the more I feel like it has merits. Leading scientists and conservationists are proposing that up to 50% of the Earth's land and oceans be protected in the coming decades. While some view the goal as unrealistic, proponents say it is essential for preserving the natural systems on which life itself depends. Well, and the headline of this, Salvation or Pipe Dream. What say you? The question is, salvation or pipe dream? a movement grows. So I didn't know if there was a growing movement. I haven't heard of a growing movement. I've just seen, every 6 months or so, an article comes out around this idea. I don't even hear Extinction Rebellion people talking about this idea. Not to say that they don't have radical proposals themselves, but I don't hear anybody talking about the half Earth idea. But considering what is already taking place under this COVID lockdown, that we're seeing, at least on some small level, a resurgence of, animal activity or wildlife activity or, the clearing of the airs. How widespread that is up for debate. How helpful that is up for debate. But anyways, a growing number of influential scientists and conservationists think protecting half of the planet in some form is key to keeping it habitable. The idea first received public attention in 2016. So yeah, this is about when I first started seeing these articles. E.O. Wilson, the legendary 90-year-old conservation biologist, published the idea in his book, Half Earth, Our Planet's Fight for Life. We now have enough measurements of extinction rates and the likely rate in the future to know that it is approaching 1,000 times the baseline of what existed before humanity came along. That sentence right there, or that knowledge right there, that equation right there, 1,000 times the baseline of what existed before humanity came along, should be enough to understand that we're having an impact, and it's negative on the planet. Once thought of as aspirational, many are now taking these ideas seriously, not only as a firewall to protect biodiversity, but also to mitigate continued climate warming. Some scientists are concerned that the planet has been so altered that ecosystems could be near a tipping point. Near. Again with this very soft, glovey, soft core climate change wording. Whoa, we don't want to scare the children, and by children I mean adults. Sorry, keep forgetting to do that. Gene says, I was on a live stream Extinction Rebellion chat early this morning. It was interesting. I'm sure it would be. I always like the Extinction Rebellion folks. I love their videos. I really enjoy their point of view and their commitment. Gene asks, who lives in the crappy half, and how do we keep their toxins in their space? Well, right. So, and that was my problem. Originally, when I first heard this idea, I thought this is ridiculous because, of course, we can destroy the atmosphere and the biosphere and the environment like gangbusters on half of the planet. We already do. But I'm beginning to like the idea on the level that it actually imposes a little bit of restraint on humans. The idea that, a large part of the earth is off limits. And I mean off limits. When I say off limits, I don't mean, this is a, protection area, but we've, built a bunch of roads so people can drive in and camp and hike and bike. No, none of that stuff. Not a what we know is like a national park in the U.S. But an actual, a preserve, a reserve where it's, this is for animals. This is for the wild. This is not for people. Again, we're very far down the road of climate change, and obviously this article is saying we're going to near some tipping points. Watch out, guys. No, we've blown past a bunch of tipping points. So, and any ideas that we're going to save ourselves if we turn the ship around real quick. Fairly naive, but Raza Remen, climate change has been postponed until COVID is over. Yep. Gene, they are already dying the ecosystems. Yep. Citizen 69, happy 18th birthday to your son. And he'll know about 420 soon enough. Well, anyways, happy 420. I don't if you're into that kind of thing. I have not celebrated the 420 in many a year, and I'm fine. I feel good. Feel great. Cindy Seeley says, "I'm with you, Kevin. There should be many places that are off limits to humans." And Gene says, "Kevin, I remember you were talking about sacred grounds. I really agree with that concept." Yes, I think. I mean, look at the way that, there's the exclusion zone that they have near Chernobyl, which is now on fire. Did I read that article to you guys? Are you guys aware that there is a huge wildfire in the Ukraine? I think I did read that article. But anyways, there's in the exclusion zone, they all the people left, and the wildlife has returned quite strongly, even though there are high radiation levels there. Probably too high for human safety, I guess, but I guess not too high for wild habitat safety, because it seems to be thriving. Anytime humans leave the scene, the ecosystems rejoice. And look at the way that they're rejoicing now that we have left the scene, at least temporarily. So I do support this idea. I really like it. I don't know how it could be instituted, because, the problem is human supremacy. The problem is always human supremacy. Sorry about the stream, guys. I have plenty of stream, but for whatever reason, it's just looking like crap. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. I was watching a Jimmy Dore live stream last night, and they were having a lot of problems too. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's a Wi-Fi side or YouTube side problem. I'm not sure. So, how are we going to implement this? I don't know. It involves human supremacy, the right of humans to go and do whatever they want, wherever they want. When you start talking about saying that there are places where humans can't go, people get really uptight. Not just regular people, not just people who are into nature, but, corporations who want to rape the planet for resources get all uptight. Of course, libertarian types, anybody on the spectrum of the right. Oh my God, the earth is for people. You just run into just extreme human supremacy when you bring up this idea. Even people who are, climate aware, but they're, maybe they're hikers or they're bikers. They get really like, oh my God, how dare you say this? Well, I'm going to treat the planet nice because I'm a good human. I'm one of the good humans. Guys, this is so crazy because my stream is, there's nothing wrong with my stream at all, but YouTube keeps saying that somehow it's my fault that it's not working. Anyways. Michael Aron says New York has a forever wild law. All wetlands must remain wild. Really? I didn't know that. That's good news. Is it actually being implemented? I mean, that you have you seen this actually being implemented? I don't know. Had Vollmer says nuclear may be the only answer. No CO2. Well, I beg to differ because we're it humans to actually control nuclear power. If for whatever reason we disappear, then there's big problems for the rest of the planet. That's like literally setting a bomb on a timer, and saying, "Well, I'm going to leave now." Right? Or there might be a chance I might have to go somewhere. And you have no idea how to defuse this bomb. I mean, I just don't agree with nuclear. I do not agree with nuclear, not on any level. But sure, whenever you talk about, humans being restrained in their activities or humans having to stay away from somewhere or stay out of somewhere or not be allowed to do whatever they want to do, not be allowed to do some touristing or some, hiking or some mountain climbing or, when you tell humans they can't do something, they get really, really upset. And that's the biggest problem I see with implementing a half Earth idea, because you're telling people you're going to have to tell humans like no can do. But I wish this idea would be talked about more in environmental circles, in even in political responses. Even if somebody's saying something like the Green New Deal, any supporting that kind of legislation, it would be nice for them to bring up some kind of idea about setting aside, vast amounts of land that humans can't go. It's just it's one of those ideas that's not it's just not widely debated or discussed. But what I mainly see of preserves or reservations or places set aside for nature, at least here in the U.S. or at least in California, is that you have these nice little areas that whatever they might be, whether they're mountain areas or areas by the ocean. They're set aside for nature, but they're, completely open to humans, and humans just come in and trample them. And they're just not, they look like they're barely functioning nature preserves. So Kiro Hike says it's not that hikers defend the land politically. If you remove the people, oil companies move in unopposed. Well, maybe. I'm saying everybody out. Hikers and oil companies, everybody out. I'm not saying that, and there's plenty of places for people to hike. I'm saying all wildlife, all wilderness, all areas, all mountains. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if you set aside half of the wilderness areas that we have right now as no-go zones, as in no-go people, no-go corporations, no-go anybody, you would go very, very far in allowing, the wilderness to be wild. The idea that hikers are going to, are some kind of defense line against oil companies, I find that a little bit ridiculous, because they're not, and as much as, as much as I support Well, I mean, and you have a point, right? The only reason Yellowstone isn't being fracked is because the public would go crazy. You have a point, but still, the fact that the public is allowed into Yellowstone, it actually leads to a lot of environmental destruction. Maybe not as quickly as the fracking companies, but there's a lot of destruction brought about. There's the building of the roads. Everybody drives their cars there. People fly into, whatever city is local to go on their Yellowstone vacation. There's a lot of environmental destruction that happens because people are allowed into Yellowstone. There's a lot of environmental. I see it all the time, man. I mean, I go out hiking or I go, whatever. I go out into nature and enjoy nature, and what I see is a lot of fucking destruction by humans still. Whether it's, it may not be you, but there's other people there that maybe don't have the same level of reverence for the planet that you do. Gene says it should be discussed, but it is antithetical to the hubris of man. Sure, yeah. You're right. Kiro Hikes, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Re won't work. Look at Anwar. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what that means. Had Vollmer says whole Earth is a possibility. Well, the reason why I titled this video Whole Earth is just a way to, visualize the planet. In a holistic way, as a whole organism, as a whole thing. But we are overwhelming. We are overrunning the planet. And even libertarians and even right-wing people will tell you, like, yeah, we're kind of messing things up here. Because if you just have eyes to see, and that's the thing, when I'm in, natural areas or nature, whatever, places where humans go, I have eyes to see that there's still a lot of destruction going on. Botwinka says it seems that sooner or later every environment sensitive person becomes misanthrope to some extent. Sure. We just there are so many in so many ways we have to limit ourselves. We really have to take on limiting ourselves in order to deal with the climate change situation, right? If there's an answer, if there's a solution, if there's a road, that road starts with humans accepting some serious limitations on their actions, in on all kinds of ways, in all sorts of ways. And so this is, one way that humans might or could or should be limited. How would this be enforced? How would this work? Logistically, how would you keep people out? How would you keep, evil pirating companies out? How would you do all that? That's again, more discussion worthy questions. Kuro Hike says Anwar is the land set aside that no one was supposed to use, but Obama opened it up drilling. Well, there you go. There you go. Obama, friend of the earth. Now only oil companies can use it. Right. Right. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. And then you have, Obviously, politically, the answer is very difficult because we're completely owned. Our political process and our politicians are completely owned and completely brainwashed. So, but I like this discussion. I like this idea, and I would like to see this idea presented more in the discussion of proposals and of ways in which we could go forward. Curo Hikes, we tried this in Alaska. Yeah, well, and also, as evidenced in South America as well, there's, a bunch of, wilderness areas in South America, places that have been set aside, and the oil companies and mining companies, are illegal oil and mining entities, are constantly like sneaking into these nature preserves or whatever and doing whatever they do. And it's the indigenous people that live there that keep them, that are the watchdogs of the areas. Yes. Yes. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. I was responding to Jarek Naylor. So let's look at that. It's a crazy day because I'm glad nobody listened to me for advice on stock tips last week, because I said it was probably a good time to be in oil. It was a good time to be in oil for a couple days if you were a betting person, which I am not a betting person. But big news today is that the oil price has absolutely collapsed. I mean, it was already... Oh my God. Oh my God. That is insane. That is insane. West Texas crude is at $1.50 a barrel. Holy shit. Holy shit. It is down 91, almost 92%. Down $16. Well, now would be a really great time to buy some WTI crude. Sorry. I don't know why this is happening, guys. Sorry about that. I love this graph so much that it just, pops up on my computer. Yeah, this is wild times. I mean, everything else is kind of where it's been for the last week. I'll show you this at least. Looks like Bonnie Light, Louisiana Light is up. Mexican is down to $14. Brent crude is down. It was up above 30, but now it's down to 25. But this right here, this right here is crazy. This is craziness. $1.50 for a barrel of oil. That's insane. And I don't, who knows where that's going to go, but so it's great. It's great that the oil companies are getting bashed so hard. West Texas, obviously, more of a U.S. indicator. So, what that means for our economic future, probably not good things, but David Cardill says, humans, as powerful as you think they may be, have no control whatsoever over the captains of industry. If you could buy, say, an electric razor, which would last 200 more years, you would. Possibly, but I don't buy electric razors. And I wouldn't, if you said here's an electric razor that would last 200 years, I still wouldn't care. I do have a lot of technology at my disposal, but oftentimes if I can live without some technology or other, I try and live without it. Little by little, I simplify my life. But that, yeah, wild times on the oil markets. But that's insane. Keith Hayes, time to fill up the gas tanks in your hidden bunker. Indeed. Citizen 69 says the oil price disaster will be the final death blow to tight oil. Yeah. I mean, this is, considering our economy is propped up on the petrodollar, an absolute collapse in the oil price, could create a black hole situation that just sucks in the rest of the stock market / economy. Het Valmer says, Kevin, use my super chats to invest. Yes. You know what? I'm not in it to win it. I actually used to dabble in some stock marketing and some cryptocurrency stuff, but I don't know. I prefer actually just doing work and getting paid, or at least doing work that people appreciate, like this channel, right? It feels more solid to me, I'm giving you something of value, hopefully, and you guys support me. But anyways, guys, let's see if there was something else I wanted to talk about before I leave. Oh, let me show you this. This is so people are hurting. People are lining up for food. A lot of people are upset about the lockdowns, and some of those people appear as the righties or the Trump supporters, but there's a lot of people out there that are in pain, so, have some compassion for the people in pain. So, some of those people, might be left or right. They might, whatever, but they, actually, Jamal Thomas had a good, take on this, which is that, this whole, let's lift the lockdown and get people back to work. This thing that Trump is pushing is no doubt favored by the 1%, favored by the elite, because they see that the oil, look what's happening to the oil prices. That has economic collapse, absolute economic collapse all over it. So, the elites, the 1%, the people that have their hands on the levers, they want people to get back to work. They want the economy to crank up again. So of course, Trump is going to, throw his support behind these people that want the lockdown to end. But a lot of these people are just hurting because they're not getting any help from the government, because they're not getting bailed out in the way that the rich are getting bailed out. And it is starting, it's starting to show in very ugly ways. And, people are rightly upset on all sides of the spectrum. But here's I don't know. I can't verify this picture. This is just a random picture of a bunch of cars, but it says people lining up for food assistance, courtesy of the New York Times. So I'm taking this on face value. These are people lining up for food assistance. This is how bad it is. This is how bad it's getting. It's going to get worse. And here's a guy with some pretty good angry thoughts around this.
Just gonna say it now. Dear government, we understand that the virus is not your fault. It happened. It is what it is. I'm not going to get into that idea that maybe you could have acted sooner. We can deal with that when this is all over. But here's the deal. We need a real fucking plan. It was the right move to make everyone stay home because that's the only way to deal with a virus like this. But here's where I have a problem. So, you told us to shut down non-essential businesses. You told us to go home and quarantine. You told us we have to keep social distance and stay inside. But you told us you would help. So where is the fucking help? These checks are what they are. I mean, let's be serious. I'm not going to turn away $1,200 because number one, if you're going to give it to me, I'm taking it. And number two, it's our fucking money, not yours. It's ours. We paid that in taxes for everything we do every fucking day. So, okay. Look at the typical family. Mortgage payment, healthcare payment, car payments, electric, water, garbage, phone, blah, 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 blah. So maybe the $1,200 covers the mortgage. But what about all the other costs that we have each month? This $1,200 thing isn't doing shit for the normal working family. You want to help? Here's one idea. Tell the fucking banks and mortgage companies to stop all mortgage payments at this time. Just stop them. And don't give me that 3-month furlough bullshit. How does that even make sense? So someone who lost their job because you said to stay at home doesn't pay mortgage for 3 months, but in the 4th month they have to not only pay that month that's due, but also the 3 months they owed in full because it was furloughed? How the fuck does that help, you greedy cocksuckers? Someone was just unemployed and not earning money for 3 months. They weren't earning money. Hello? Now they just start back to work and all that money magically appears so they can pay the 3 months in a lump sum. How are they fucking paying that? Are you fucking idiots? Look, it almost makes sense that they can start paying the current mortgage due for the month when they go back to work. But they can't pay the prior 3 months. They had no income. So here's the idea. Just add the 3 fucking months of the furlough to the back end of the loan. So if they have, let's say, 19 years and 6 months left in their mortgage, just add the 3 months. So now they have 19 years and 9 months. How fucking hard is that? You'll get your money, you shitbags. It's just delayed. The working stiff wins if you do that. It really helps. It actually helps. And what is up with these banks and lending assholes? I mean, come on, you little...
So I think that's Jimmy Dore's uncle. So that's some real emotion there, you know, from somebody who's feeling some pain or somebody who sees the situation correctly. Yeah, the guy is awesome. But that guy is just a dude. Is he a lefty or righty? Is he a Trump supporter? Is he who is he? Nobody knows, but that's... that's how people are feeling, right? And that's an honest reaction to how the establishment is, treating this whole situation, right? They aren't giving regular people anything, and they're, completely content. And the Congress is, on vacation. They're not even in session. They're not going to be in session until May. So people are out here lining up for food. People are out here struggling and sweating and, worried about possible food on the table or their next rent payment. And, Congress is nowhere to be found. So, the situation, continues. Yeah, I will post a link to that for sure. So, guys, I got to wrap this up. I really got to get back to work. I'm not going to be on tomorrow, but I will be back hopefully on Wednesday. Probably will be back Wednesday at the same time. I'm about to put out a record on Earth Day on Wednesday. My record will be released. I will post a link in the community section, a link to a pre-order for the record. So if you want to buy the record now, and it'll be delivered to you on Wednesday, and when it's released, you can get the record. It is a climate change themed album. Not every single song is about climate change, but most of them have some kind of climate change elements. Joe Pesci got political indeed. Guyo Smith says next month we get free oil and money. Sweet. Collapse Chronicles, how you doing? Exactly. Valhalla says if you think politicians will save you, then you will find out they won't. And on that, guys, I'm going to leave you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Check out this link here that Muzza has posted for you. Appreciate your presence and your chats and your conversation. Until next time, I'll see you on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Until then, peace.